The Bank of Ghana doesn't regulate the online space. So that I think sometimes we have to be realistic.
No, but you see, Bernard,
Sky,
look.
you're telling me that do you know a number of transactions and a number of activities that take place on online in a day?
Bernard,
The Bank of Ghana regularly will come out and say these guys have not been licensed because we've observed them over a period. I'm not sure they can actually prevent.
Bernard, you see, look, banking has moved away from brick mortar bank sitting somewhere. Majority of things happening these days, to a large extent, are happening online. And if you look at the volume of transactions happening online, you are marveled. You'll be marveled at what exactly is going on. So, if these apps, strictly speaking, we can situate them as what? Fintech, right? And they are not licensed, I think the Bank of Ghana would have to do
I want
a lot
to read
more.
the statement.
And
for
where
you.
they do not even have the authority, perhaps, maybe if there is some, legislative gap or lacuna.
Let me read the statement.
Because
BOG
it's disturbing.
notice to all licensed financial institutions and the general public. Lending activities by unlicensed entities. Further to Bank of Ghana notice number given, whatever, on unlicensed entities engaged in lending. So this is on the first one. The bank has observed the persistent operation of unlicensed entities that are engaged in the provision of loans through mobile applications to the Ghanaian public in contravention of the Bank and Specialized Deposit Taking Institutions Act,
So the act
2016 Act 930. Some of the loan applications offered on the market without a license authorization from the Bank of Ghana are, then they list them. I'll read the list again, but before I do that, the bank reiterates that the activities of these entities significantly breach customer data and privacy laws, as well as consumer protection requirements and norms, with unfavorable implications on the integrity and well-being of their patrons. Bank of Ghana will continue to take action against these entities in collaboration with relevant state agencies to promote the integrity of financial service delivery. The general public is thereby advised to desist from doing business with all unlicensed loan providers. Banks, specialized deposit-taking institutions, and payment service providers are cautioned not to facilitate the illegal transactions of unlicensed loan applications. The general public is encouraged to patronize the various types of digital credit products approved by BOG and delivered by banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions in partnership with mobile money operators. These loan facilities are accessed remotely 24/7 through mobile money wallets without the need for collateral. Further, to adhere to the relevant consumer protection and data privacy laws, the general public is advised to consult the bank's website using the link below for the approved list of licensed institutions. It's very simple before transacting any business. So in fact, they even give the website. It's a secured website, bog.gov.gs/supervision -regulation / all institutions. Now, when you click on this, it will give you a list. So my point is that if you go online and Data or Richard Sky and Co say they'll give you a loan, just go and compare Richard Sky and Co to that list.
Bernard,
If it's not there,
no, you see, that is where the challenge is. How many people will go and do that?
but
Due
if you
diligence.
can borrow money online, why can't you check online?
No.
It's the same online place.
You see, no, Bernard, I think the Bank of Ghana, yes, by drawing our attention to the problem, that is good, but it is not good enough. We must pursue these people. We must find them. If we have to write to Google, if we have to write to whichever institution to take steps to address these consumer issues, we have to do it, because not so many people are sophisticated enough to go on the internet
I really
to
wish
look for
we
the website.
We could talk to Kwame Opon, who's the head of, they said the BOG now has a head of fintech. All right, it's a position that didn't exist. He's a new guy. He's probably been there for 5 years.
Okay.
It's a new position. So a lot of the fintech
This
thing,
is new.
in the context of, it's new. It's new. I mean, BOG has been in existence since 1953 or something. So
Right.
Kwame Opon is probably the first head of fintech at BOG.
But he's the one with the most important job.
Now, yeah, but he didn't even sign this statement. This statement was signed by Sandra Thompson, who's the secretary. Now, I'm saying that if you go on the BOG website, they've given you the list of licensed institutions that you can learn from. Just look at some of these names. Sometimes when you even see the name,
You should find the guys. Look at the names.
Charlie, I mean, Governor, do you hear the names?
Yeah, Fufu
Sika
loan.
Kasa, Cash Coco, Keep Loan, Get Wallet, Mom Cash, CD Pros, Credit More, Loan Hub, Pop Cash, Coco Loan, Joy Cash, Chased Loan, Moko, Credit Fee, Rapid Citi, Mo Loan, Cool Cash, Loan Papa, Smart Loan, PK Loans, CK. They just think of anything. Fee Cash, Daily Cash, Hella Cash. You can even rap with it. CD Fee, Pro Cash, CD Wallet. Charlie serious, Gold
Cool
Miner,
Cash, Cool
Enjoy
Cash,
Credit,
Cash.
Sunny Cash, Sunny Loan, Hello CD, Cash Pay, Ajinkwa Sika, Personal Loan, Akwaba Cash, Home Credit, Bloom Cash, On Loan, Want Cash, Credit Ghana app, Zip Loan, New Loan Ghana, Mika Cash Loan app, Fund CD Ghana Loan app, Ultra Loan, Sika Bus, and then Kud Loan, Cash Wave, Eagle Cash,
I'm surprised we don't have
Derive Cash, Top Credit,
Sika
Fufu
Bar.
Credit, Yo Cash, Bosiapa, Dates Cash, Easy Cash, and some of the cash is C, some is K. So sometimes they even have soft cash with C, soft cash with H, Steady Cash, CD Story, Warren Rapid CD, Kudi Credit, Robin Personal Loan, Robin Hood Verbal, True CD, Quick Cash,
See a loan company
Fund
named
Cash, U Cash,
Robin Hood.
Bit Cash, Loan Galaxy, Cash Star, Rapid Money, and my favorite, Cola Cash, Cash Cola, Coco Cash, Lemon Cash, Lemon Wallet,
Moku.
Coco, Mega Credit, Plus Loan, Money Loan App, Happy Loan, Cash Power Online, Easy Access Loans, plenty. I'm even tired. For Credit, Ghana Lending, Acon Credit, Ghana Loan with GANA, Mbosia, 100 CD, Mo Loan. There's just one called Accra.
Let me. Can I tell you what my thoughts?
Yeah,
are?
of
Listen,
course.
maybe Sky having now kind of created a
Yeah.
niche for himself in that. The Bank of Ghana's list deals with. So there's a law that governs
Yeah, the
online financial institutions.
transactions. You mean.
And is there a law that governs users, that protects users
Okay, so we do not have a Consumer Protection Act
in this particular space?
No. So that is why there's a lot of agitation now that we should develop a comprehensive consumer protection regime, so that even credit systems like that and offerings like that, consumers who go for things like that can be protected. I think we are using traditional legislation in the area of Bank of Ghana, banking regulations, and all of these things to govern these things. But the fact is that the world has moved on from using these traditional legislations, because legislation must respond to the trends we
needs
see
of the times.
Exactly. And we are sitting down and nothing is happening. You would want to see the ministry responsible for communication, the ministry responsible for business development. Is there no a ministry
that
like that?
ministry is no longer there.
Oh, it's no longer there. Then who is there now? What's happening there? Who now?
He's been moved to tourism. The ministry has been collapsed.
Oh, okay. You see, because so much is happening
in that
and we are not catching up. So I think something has
The
to
reason
happen.
why I'm bringing that angle up, Bernard, is if you look at the users of these illegal online loan apps, look at this message right now.
It's desperation.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'll get to it. So Mike from Sokoban in Kumasi says these illegal loan app guys give you 200 CDs and expect you to pay 290 CDs in 7 days. If you fail to pay, they then send your pictures to almost all your contacts saying you're a criminal who goes around borrowing money without paying. Very humiliating. What is surprising is the way they have access to all your contacts. This, I know, is against the Data Protection Act, and the government must be very prompt in dealing with these criminals. So my position on the matter is, once perhaps the situation is such that as quickly as the Bank of Ghana is closing these down, 97 more will emerge.
Quickly.
You understand?
They will change the name, right?
They will, irrespective, because that it's something that you cannot really police at the moment. Okay. So you shut them down, new ones will come up. People are desperate, like you said. People need money. This is no collateral loan. So once the economy is squeezing people will find ways of finding easy cash to survive. The reason why I am looking at the angle of a law that protects users is that once you have that framework in place, even these illegal entities know that you cannot do A, B, C, and D if a person takes a loan from you. What it does is once they understand the limitations that the law has imposed, because sharing people's images, calling them criminals.
But Godfrey, is that not the
Yes.
second leg? Because you see, Sky's point is that the illegal guy mustn't even operate.
Yes.
So you are saying let's protect the consumer. The consumer should be protected when they deal with legal entities.
Yes.
And there's also something called the buyer beware. The
Yes.
reason the BOG puts this list out is that if you go and deal
Yes.
with somebody who's not authorized, he's not operating bus or anything. He's just
Yes.
there giving you money.
Yes.
It's almost like saying, and there's a limit to what government. So, for example, if I go and take
I understand
if I go and
that.
take a loan from Nathan,
Yes.
and Nathan decides to put my face on Instagram and shame me because I haven't paid,
Yeah.
who's regulating that?
Yes. But the,
So the only way the government comes in is because it's on a platform.
Yeah, but what-
So I'm coming. So Sky's angle is that you see, there's a law around. If Nathan gives me money, I can't go and he can't come and beat me up to collect my money. That's civil relationships.
Yes.
All right. But once the thing is on a platform, and the government gives license for somebody to come and operate, is it WhatsApp or Android or whatever, they must work with that organization to ensure that people are not deceived. It's like bringing somebody on TV to come and advertise a product. Now I'm coming to give you something, and when the person comes to buy the thing is wrong. The media house must be responsible. So I think that the more direct way may be Sky. I agree with you that people must be protected, but I don't think any properly licensed loan giver will go and shame you.
let me read something for you from the Cyber Security Authority, and then I'll continue with my point. Perhaps it might help. It says that if you go to the Cyber Security Authority's website, they have something on cyberbullying by digital lending mobile application owners. The Cyber Security Authority has received reports of cyberbullying experienced by users of digital lending mobile applications. These apps can be found on Google Play Store or may be shared as Android package files, as APK, via social media. There goes on to explain. These apps offer loans at varying interest rates and payment terms. When subscribers default in repayment, they are threatened by the owners of these digital lending apps with having their identities published as wanted persons or fraudsters on various social media platforms and to their contacts. In some cases, the app owners follow through with their threats. Some victims also reported that even though they had not taken such loans, they received the threat messages.
Wow.
Key findings. The commonly reported apps in this scheme include 4Credit, Cash X, 4Citi, Ali Loan, Busiapa, Citi Boom, Coco Loan, Mac Loan, Easy Loan, and On Loan.
These licenses, guys.
Yes. The victims would typically have granted these apps permissions during installation, unknowingly or without proper scrutiny, to access their data and personal identifiable information. Example, name, phone number, Ghana card, ID number, contacts, photos, etc., which is where Mike's concern comes in. As in, he doesn't know how these people gain access
they are
to all that
granted it.
information. And then it goes on to mention a Bank of Ghana notice that states that has not licensed any company to provide digital lending services of such nature to the public. Then goes on to make recommendations that the public is advised against subscribing to these mobile applications since they are not sanctioned by the Bank of Ghana and the Data Protection Commission. Individuals who patronize these services do so at their own risk. The public is further advised to review access permissions for mobile applications carefully before installing them. So the point I keep making to you is they have been aware of these apps for a very long time. There is a difficulty in policing them. And it is not just a Ghana problem. We've seen this happening in a lot of countries. This is popular in India, it's popular in Indonesia, it's popular in Russia, it's popular in East Africa, it's popular in a lot of countries. And it happens again because of countries that have a lot of poor people who do not have the
looking for
collateral, who are looking for money. So as 97 go, 97 come.
So it's not a sustainable
So it's
way
not-
of stopping it.
Of stopping it. But if you look at ways of protecting the user, you might be able to put a dent in the middle because now the person knows that I cannot just publicize this person's image or do this and this to this person only. And at the moment, if I put Richard Scott, there are laws that might deal with me defaming him, right? But then the person might say, well, he owes me, that there might be T's and C's that are actually applied there on the platform that you might not have been aware of, that the person might be able to show to you. That will allow. But if you put in place a framework that regulates and protects the user of these illegal online platforms, you might be able to halve the problems. You understand me?
Pause there. Let's kind of deal with that. I just wanted to say that, you're saying to protect users of illegal.
That's right.
You see, that's where he's going. You can't, you can't put
Hold
something
on.
on nothing.
No, but the point
It's
you see,
unlawful conduct. So you can't. You go after the person.
there has to be an acceptance that we cannot say that we will get rid of them.
All of them.
It is not
So, like,
possible.
let's meet each other
We are
halfway.
lying to
So
ourselves.
You're saying that while
It is not possible.
you work to reduce their proliferation,
Look for ways of protecting.
You see,
We cannot say because it's illegal, we won't protect them.
No, you see,
That cannot be also be our position on
so
the matter.
Pascal is saying that clamp them down. So, for example, there's something called mystery shopping. BOG can put some interns online to say, go and patronize this loan service and let's trace the communication. And then you go to where they are based and you clamp them down and you jail them.
The people are online.
Yeah, you can find them.
they have
You
faces
shut.
to them.
You shut.
How? Online, so they can't
People
find
who are
them.
publishing the thing online, why don't they have?
Are you saying we don't
Look
have okay, for example, the police? For example, has the BOG worked with the police? The police have
The cyber security
Yes, we have a cyber.
unit.
We have cyber security agencies in Ghana that are working together.
Yes.
I think that the proliferation of this suggests that the regulation is weak.
Yes.
And we are not being proactive.
But
We are being reactive. So we see the list and we probably say
But
this
the
and
hosting of these apps and all those things can be done in different ways without leading to a Bernard Avle or a Richie Sky. Okay, that's how I'm looking at it.
we'll read some quick comments. We'll read some quick comments now.
Hey, for the one still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show, some messages are coming in. I think a few of them are clarifying how some of these platforms get your contact, because it looks like in the sign-up process, if you don't allow them access,
The protocols.
So the TNCs.
So people, they say they get access to your contacts through the app. The app will tell you to share your contact with them. If you refuse, then you can't continue.
Yeah, you
It's
see,
like
but you
T's and
see,
C's.
our Data Protection Act imposes an obligation. First of all, what they are doing is illegal, because as the Bank of Ghana has stated, and the statement you read from the Cybersecurity Authority, these two show that these guys are acting
Illegally.
unlawfully. So we should arrest them and prosecute them.
Yeah.
You understand? What they are doing, they have no business doing it, but they are doing it nonetheless. Now, where you get access to a person's data, you have no business sharing that data with the public. You are required under the Data Protection Act to guard it with your life. In fact, there are institutions of state that may even require you in some cases, or may insist that provide the data, where they do not provide lawful authority, even from a court of law. You are not to hand it over.
But here's a situation where a part of the agreement between the two parties is that you will grant me access to your data.
No, yes. So you see, that's what I'm saying now. Receiving a person's data is one thing, but sharing it with the public in the name of enforcing an unlawful term, it makes it even worse. Because first of all, you are not. The law doesn't require you. Doesn't allow you to act the way you are doing, which is doing your business. Secondly, you got someone's data because the person consented to it. Then you moved on from there to now share it with the public because you have access to that data. Our institutions must up their game. But if it would require going into a conversation with Google, if it would require going into a conversation with, Apple Store, or is it, how do you guys call it? Is it App Store?
Yeah.
If you require that level of engagement, we must do it. Because it is like the folks who were previously acting in Doma and all of these places who were doing the one that created the DKM and all of that. It looks like they have moved from the physical space now
to the online space.
The online space. And that is dangerous. And these things operate on the basis of, Godfred has come to tell me that, Charlie, I go organize my body for this shark loan.
Give me a quick one.
Charlie, they give me a quick one. So you go feel run your body for that. So people are moving into that space. And I think that, huge institutions like MTN should be interested in this particular space, because these
Illegal.
yeah, they are a threat to them. Because look, they are running a behemoth of an institution, financial institution, in the online space because of the mobile money thing they are doing. Of course, the Vodafone Cash and all of these others. So there should be some interest from these, lawfully operating institutions within the space to support, so that if we will require funding, I mean, I'm sure they are making a decent amount of money and they can afford to support, state institutions that may be cash-strapped to deal with guys like this. It cannot be right. It cannot be right. So it is not enough, in my view, that statements have been issued saying that, oh, we are warning you against these people. We must find evidence on the net. There must be electronic trail left somewhere. I believe we have guys with the brains who can be assembled to look into these matters, find the people, the faces behind them, get them arrested, prosecute them with the speed of light, and put them away for a good number of years, so that we'll reduce this thing. Because it can't. No, it's not right. It's not right at all.
I don't know. I whenever it happens, you have the Bank of Ghana coming out to say, okay, don't deal with these people, but
it's not enough.
Yeah.
The animal that is hungry, for India, it doesn't know what death is. So it will go and do this. People need money.
That is true.
So don't give them the supply.
Yeah, my concern has to do with, somebody said that some of the messages have gone on to give details of how you can upload an app or publish an app and all of that. Shouldn't there be a secondary form of security that maybe the Bank of Ghana can look into that before, if you are doing this app, and you say you want to get into this financial space, we'll have to regulate you, that kind of. Well, I think that will have to call for some collaboration between.
No, the people don't want to do regulation. It is like those days back in the day, you have people in the community who are loan sharks.
Yeah.
What they do is that, okay, you need how much? You say, well, I need 10,000 Ghana cedis. He'll give you 10,000 Ghana cedis. He says that come and pay back in a month's time, but the interest is 40%, right? Because you are desperate, you go for this loan. Now, strictly speaking, the two of you have entered into a contract, and he will seek to enforce it against you. But he doesn't have the lawful authority to do what he's doing. So they go, it sees your car, or you are doing your wedding, they come and embarrass you. Yeah, they embarrass you in front of the bride. All kinds of things have been happening in the name of, my ball busia and you've not paid. You don't have the authority. In fact, you have no authority to lend money out to somebody when you have not been properly registered to do.
So as a company, you cannot lend money.
Exactly. So these guys, for some reason, have found a new space to operate in, which is online. And because people are desperate, they go online quickly, search for these things, download them, and So the Bank of Ghana and Cyber Security Authority, Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Information. They have a lot of work to do in this place.
Let's go through some of the messages before we take it.
Hello, guys. All loans granted in the jurisdiction have to undergo credit reference checks from a licensed credit bureau in Ghana. Yes. These apps do not run loan checks of applicants. I know of a credit bureau that has the adequate capacity to service all these online apps if the regulator ensures that these apps do the right thing. Hello, guys. I know one at Ghana. The agent told me they claim to be paying their SNIF for them every month, and they therefore deduct the money from their commissions every month. But meanwhile, the agents don't even have SNIF numbers. Albert says those fake loan apps need to be fished out. Their interest is too high. Good morning, guys. I think the instructions should be out. If they're operating legally, just wanting the citizens in this hard economy to stay away from the apps, I think won't be effective. Some of them keep changing their names to beat the system. They have ads to lure people on almost all social media platforms. A friend contemplated suicide because of this. Had we not acted in time to save him, it would have been the worst. Good morning, guys. These loan apps are normally pop-up ads when using social platforms like Facebook, football pages, and others. This one says, these apps are only an issue with those who take money and don't want to pay. We that pay, they help a lot. Allow them. After the single account at BOG for all.
The young man doesn't even know that he deserves any better.
Our banks will sit up and do proper retail banking since windfall cash will cease. So Kofi says this is the way to go for him.
It's a consequence of the banking sector not being too nice.
Good morning, guys. I'm a victim of these scammers. There was one called Bay Credit and Busiapa. In fact, they've defrauded me recently and they are still calling me. They have registered over 20 FTN numbers and they will call you, son.
So they registered. So it should be possible to trace who is behind it.
Nee says, we let regulators get away with doing the bare minimum. Predatory unlicensed loan companies are targeting people, and the BOG sends a warning when illegalities are happening. Imagine if DVLA adopted this lukewarm attitude towards unlicensed drivers. And finally, so it says, companies who want to do legitimate businesses have been frustrated by the BOG not giving our license to operate. You apply to do the loan business and you wait for almost 9 months. If you refuse to license, people continue to do business. Okay. And this one is finally, okay, I think 2 more. Please check on the free-to-air TV stations. They're all over. This tells us the NCA is not working.
Can you imagine?
And George, finally from Spintech, says, on this matter of unlicensed loan apps, I think the telco's Momo division can help curb the proliferation since the loan distribution channel is through mobile money.
And there's this one that came in. It says that, good morning, Mr. Avila. I hope you're doing well. About 2 years ago, a friend of mine took a loan from an illegal lending agency. Unfortunately, he ended up paying more than 3 times the initial amount he borrowed from them. Now, these individuals will frequently call and threaten him, even though he insisted he had paid off the debt in full. Regrettably, he continued paying them until he confided in me. Fast forward to last year, I received a phone call from a representative of one of these money lending apps. They informed me that my name had been used by my friend as a guarantor. Can you imagine? Curious, I inquired about their operating location, to which they replied, Labone, which is here in Accra. Without hesitation, I informed the person that I had reported them to the police and that legal action was being pursued. What followed was a rather unsettling response from the individual. He laughed and said, "You think you can catch us? There are many of us. You won't succeed." Since that encounter, they haven't contacted my friend again. So you see, it's a huge economy out there, it would seem. And because of the desperation, people are going for it. I think our authorities must up their game. They must up their game.